time. So I'm going to blow through these slides really fast. Hasn't today been amazing? I mean, literally, let's just go, right? We can just leave right now. Thank you, Mark. You always invest in us. And I really appreciate your investment in all of us today. Don't you love the new logo? At first, I kind of got attached to Gene, but now this actually communicates something, so I'm excited about that. So I will blow through this quickly because I thought I had more time. Tanya actually told me I had 20 minutes, so I will go quickly. Before we get into my subject matter, I want to ask you a question, and this really translates well with what Mark's been talking about today. So here's the question: what kind of legacy are you building? Because you are building your legacy, whether you're conscious about it or you're not. We've heard the expression, duplication happens, good or bad, right? And so what are you duplicating? I love what Laurel just explained just a minute ago about procrastination. We're all guilty of that, right? Come on, it's February. How many of you have stuck to your New Year's resolution? You know? Well, we're so excited. Thank you, Val. You're good to go. But so, we are building a legacy. Now, if any of you guys watched Facebook much, and a lot of you know who I am, you know that my sister just passed away 2 days ago. And Mark talked about the time. What would you do if you had unlimited time? Well, I'll tell you one thing. If I could hit the rewind button and get a redo, I would have spent a lot more time. Because now she's gone, at least in this life, forever. And so, stuff like that is never going to go away. We're always going to have problems that come up that we don't have the time for. So there's my sister, Delina. This was when she was in hospice care, and she lost like 70 pounds after this photograph was taken. And we were really close growing up. And I think about, if I could do a redo, I would have spent more time. And as time goes on, we all have our legacies. And over here in the corner, there's my beautiful wife and daughter. And you're my LifeVantage family. And this picture, I photoshopped it. I was not on stage at Elite Academy. It's in my mind I was, though, right? But when you stand on stage, the people that are in that crowd, I want you to think about those people, your team. How many of them will know your story before that? How much time did you invest in your team? The Palmers are the best I've ever seen in connecting with their team. I want to be more like Jeanette and Mark in that way. I really respect them because they build that team. And so that's one of my goals, is to be more like that, to build that legacy. I love this quote. I stole it from Marcy Nettles' page. But if everyone in LifeVantage was allowed the chance to re-enroll, how many would choose you again to be their upline support system? Boom! That's what I felt like when I read that the first time. But it was a great thing because I started thinking about what can I do today so I can build that legacy as I go forward. So today my subject matter is, don't reinvent the wheel. That would be painful to try to ride that bike. Actually, there's a YouTube video of a guy doing one with square wheels. And I guess if you get enough speed, it's not near as bad. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? I don't know. So Mark's been talking a lot about this, and I think this is appropriate because I kind of stole some of his thunder. And because if you want something in life, what do you have to do? You have to go find someone who has what you want, and you do what they do. So you can do it your own way, what we call your plan or your way, the unproven wheel, right? How many of us get in? Like you said, you were in marketing. It was just a different type of marketing, and it didn't translate well. Tanya will be the first one to tell you that I had a lot of great ideas getting started. Oh, I can do it better. And you probably had those too, and you know people that come to that. Now you can do it that way if you want to, but you're probably going to feel like this along the way. This sad kid, he doesn't look too happy riding his plan or his wheel. It's not very comfortable. So that's one way to go. I wouldn't recommend that. So don't reinvent the wheel. I love Jim Rohn. How many of you love Jim Rohn? If you haven't listened to him, you gotta YouTube him. The man's amazing. He was from Idaho. Yeah, baby. So, look at this. He said, don't let learning from your own experiences take too long. If you've been doing it wrong for the last 10 years, I would highly suggest that's quite long enough. So if you're not getting what you want, maybe it's time to relook at the course that you're taking. Another great thing that Jim Rohn said, he was so amazing at taking complicated things and making them simple. He said, people tend to end up in the direction they're pointed towards. I said that to my trainers. I've been consulting for some gyms, and I said that to the trainers, and I said, I'm going to say something really profound. And then I said that quote to them, and they were like, that's like a duh. But so is an apple a day keeps the... Well, why didn't they say 7 on Sunday? Because it's the same amount of apples, right? No, it's consistency. So if you've not been consistent, then you're going to want to take a look at that. Because here's the thing, we all are going to suffer one way or another, the pain of discipline or the pain of disappointment. And I know nobody that's in this room that took the time to be here wants to ever live with that disappointment, do we? We didn't write all that stuff down and reveal all of the things that are holding us back to not do something. So you'll be interested to see some of the stuff that I'm going to pull up. So I would recommend taking the proven plan. Now, doesn't that look like a sweet motorcycle? That's a Honda concept bike, but I threw the logos on there. And if you know me, I always do that stuff. But the proven plan, to get what you want, you have to talk and listen and learn from people who have got what you want to get. And so Mark's been talking about that. And so here's what he talked about. I called it the 4 points of success because there was 4 points on the logo. But the pillar is good too. We'll go with that too. But you want to be this guy or this girl that puts the helmet on and said, hey, zoom, zoom, let's get this done. I'm going to follow the tracks. I'm going to do those things that he talked about, which is so great that I knew you were going to talk about this.
Great minds think alike.
I just want to be a small version of you. There was no pun intended in that one. So here's Anthony Robbins. How many of you got to go to the GoPro Recruiting Mastery? Wasn't that flat out phenomenal to listen to this man? So I've been saying that his quote all along today, if you want to be successful, find someone who has achieved the results you want and copy what they do, and you will achieve the same results. It's really simple, but like Jim Rohn says, if it's easy to do, that's right, it's easy not to do. I don't even know if I'm going to need these because I'm not even looking at my phone. So, in order to get what you want, well, I just texted a bunch of people that have it. There's Seth Mulder with his basketball, who thinks he's amazing, and he is. That's Sean Poe, Clinton Boyles, Dr. Nettles, and up there in the corner is Trent Lindstrom. I said, listen, I'm about to speak. I'm still in my journey. By the way, when I'm standing up here, in my mind, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to pretend that there's a mirror right here, because the person who needs this information more than anyone is the reflection. So this is not for you as much as it's for me, right? I'm not up here saying I have accomplished this. But that's the biggest thing, is knowing what you need to do. And then what's the second thing? Not procrastinating, right? We need to actually step out. So I'm going to read you a couple of things. Here is Seth's quote. I think the 4 pillars teach clearly. And so talk about that. There's a process to this. Without the do, there's no results. Your visual, your story, help drive home and validate the truth. That was what Seth said. Sean said, the system is proven. What's been shown to work works all the time, not some of the time. There might be different paths from A to Z, but we can help you get where you want to go no matter what path you're taking. Different lifestyles, different goals, right? Clinton said, find the people that are making the money and actually make it work. Listen to what they say and then follow. Anybody seeing a pattern here? And I didn't say, by the way, I need you all to tell me exactly the same thing, right? Different types of people. Clinton Boyles talks about how he didn't sign up a single person for 6 months. Mark actually said yesterday that he got a no, and I'm like, are you human? I thought you were like untouchable, right? he's no different than us. He's just further down the road. And so we can learn from that. Donnie's always good. How many like Dr. Nettles? Isn't he good? Gosh, he's amazing. I asked him, I said, well, blah, blah, what's advice? He said, that's easy one for me, bro. He said, because I badly, and he put in caps, broke the rule in the beginning. We have a blueprint and a system for a reason. Accept it. Don't question it. Don't change it. And follow the blueprint. Dr. Nettles. Simple and easy. I want to double click on Trent. I love Trent. He is amazing. How many of you guys have listened to Trent Lindstrom? When he comes in the room, maybe because he's a police officer, you immediately have the fear of his posture. But he speaks with such conviction, and he's very passionate. When I go to an elite academy, and when you guys go to global, because everybody's going to global and everybody's going to be here next month with a guest. So when I go to elites or global, I actually look for Trent Lindstrom. Because here's what I know about the many times I've gone to him, is I bring him a guest, and I know that person's going to get jacked up with great information, very pointed questions. Why are you here? He's very good. And I listened to the Proven Plan training call on Mark and Seth's site the other day. I listened to like 6 of them. But Trent said something that really just resonated with me, and I hope it's going to resonate with you. We've all heard this quote. Your why should make you cry, right? Knowing what it is important. The picture that you're looking at is not just a cool graphic. To me, you know what that means? I heard someone say, maybe somebody can remember who they were, but there's a day that you get into LifeVantage, right? You can remember the day you joined, and then there's another day. What is that day? That's when LifeVantage gets in you. And you begin to realize what you have your hands on in the family that you created and you're building with. That's a different day, right? And here's what Trent basically said. He said, I don't necessarily believe this anymore. And I was like, whoa, bro, that's like the gospel, dude. You can't say that. He says, here's what I mean by that. Is that enough? Because how many of you know what you should do, even when you wrote all your goals down? And like I said, I had more reasons why I couldn't get those done, because I'm looking at the problem and I'm not looking at where I want to go. You still cry when you think about your why, but you still are sitting on your butt. Any of you feel like that? Am I alone? So here's what he says, which I really adopted. Your why should make you frickin' fly like Iron Man, baby. See hey, I went to great pains to put the building back there, so you need to look at that for a second. Look at the logo on his chest. It should be in you. Okay, there's a lot of stuff in there that I only the one sees, but here's the point. Your why should make you get off your butt and move towards your goals, because if it doesn't, what's the point of dreaming? Your why should freaking make you fly. I can say that, right? We're being recorded. Because everybody knows Iron Man takes per tandem, baby. That's where he gets his power. Nerve 2 activation. So your why should make you fly. Okay? How many of you guys know who Mickey Mantle is? I'm going to read something really powerful. Mickey Mantle was a great baseball player in the 50s and 60s. He used to get in ruts. How many of us are in ruts? Ruts are hard to steer out of, right? Here's what he said. The king of home runs, he was the fastest man in baseball, one of the most accomplished players who've ever played the game. Here we have a professional baseball player, highly decorated, who's paid to perform. He's a professional, not an amateur. He's paid to play. But he could not perform. He'd take a swing at the ball once, twice, strike out. Sometimes he would go to multiple games where this was the same routine every time. Strike out, strike out, strike out. One time, someone asked Mickey, what are you going to do to start changing and get out of this rut? He responded, I don't change anything. I wait till it's over. I just keep swinging and hanging in there until the rut has actually passed. Consistency is contrary to our nature. It's contrary to life, but it's the only complete, consistent thing that you can do to get out of your rut. And what he went on to say is, Mickey Mantle was great, not because the game, not because he was good at the game, but because he was consistent in the basics. He didn't try to reinvent the wheel. The moral here is that you too can be an artist like Mickey Mantle in LifeVantage and in life. And it doesn't require you to be perfect. It just requires you to be consistent. Consistency is vital. And you're not going to be this guy day one, okay? You're not going to be climbing great heights. First, it's going to take growth. And consistency over time will grow you because your business will never be bigger than you are. So you need to grow into that. Most people that quit New Year's resolutions, their goals are way too high. And the minute they have any breakdown, they just give it up. It's an all or nothing type of attitude. I'm not going to make that phone call. I love what you said, because if I don't make the phone call, it almost feels like they're still in the loop and you deceive yourself. So I don't make the call. But if you make the call and you stay consistent and you trust the system, you will have results. Our amazing Carrie Dickey said so many things. I just bullet pointed it out because she's amazing. Find people and what they want and help them get it. Be a good student, coachable, teachable. Follow the blueprint. Attend all the events. Leave your ego at the door. Expose, promote, and build. Make a friend and find their pain. Bait the hook, suit the fish. How many of you read her book? Isn't it good? The ones who read it, listen, I promise you, I have it on audio, so I can listen to it while I'm driving. She reads it, so it's kind of like listening to Carrie Dickey anyway. But the book's amazing. She did such a phenomenal job with it. And you guys, we all see this. We all see the consistent theme. Now it's time to trust the system and follow it, because people are further down the road than you, and they're just saying there's nothing special. We just need to do what they did, right? So here's my last question to you. What kind of legacy did you build when you stand on stage? When you stand there and you look out, what did you build? That's what you want to do. You want to already be there. There was an athlete way back in the day before there was planes, and it took a long time to get to the Olympic Games. So they had to take a boat, right? And all the other athletes, I think John Maxwell talks about this, all the other athletes were working their body, doing all this stuff, and he was sitting in a lawn chair just looking at the ocean with his eyes closed. And everybody's like, that dude's lazy. He's not working his body. Well, actually, he was visualizing. He said, I have already won the gold medal. I'm visualizing how it will feel to stand on the podium and know that all the work I did before will count. He knew what he was going. And if you visualize what the legacy will be when you stand there and you build that now, that will be a no-brainer, because you've already stood on that stage several times. It won't be the first time for you. You've been there. And so when you keep that in your mind, it'll help you stay consistent. So let's rock Idaho, you guys. There's nobody here. We've got this place. Keep Mark and his team away. I'm just kidding. So I just want to thank you guys for the time. I want to be a Supreme Galactic Commander one day too, like Mark Shinsato.